Hi, it's good to be back. I hope you can appreciate how much I really enjoy doing this, for the information, for the thinking it has me do while I'm speaking, for the hope that it's enlightening and encouraging, and to pick up on what the last one was about in terms of things you don't know and there's no reason you should. Is I have a client, I've had them for a while, and we are trying to the goal is to have the beneficiary of this will get ownership of the residence that, in this case, her brother owned and wanted her to have. She had an original will, and she submitted it to the county in Florida where he lived and where it was supposed to be recorded. And it seems that it was not recorded, and we don't have it anymore. And in order for her to move forward easily, we need to find the original will or find out where it's recorded. Because if we don't, she may very well wind up having to share this property with other people in the family that he didn't want to have anything, to get anything. And what it's taught me is if somebody passes and there's a will, which is, at least in Florida, by law, supposed to be recorded or deposited, they call it actually, you might want to talk to an attorney beforehand or call your local bar association and find out what's the best way to get this done. Because according to this person I'm dealing with, she sent an original. Whoever she sent it to said they couldn't handle it, and yet she didn't get her original back. And it's a mess. Could have been avoided. And she feels terrible about it. And I feel worse because I haven't been able to bring about what she wants. And for those of you who've done your estate planning or are thinking about it, one of the biggest things you want to work with about the person you want to work with is you want to work with somebody that you're going to trust to have your best interests at heart, whether it's doing the planning to begin with, or if you wind up in a probate situation, doing a probate, that you know that they're working for your best interests. And my heart really breaks for this person because we have not been able to get this thing done. And we've been at it for quite a while, much longer than it should have taken had we found the original will. So when you lose somebody, the first, and I've said this before, the first thing you want to do is grieve. Just take time to grieve. I mean, hopefully everything has been set up well. You can always call an attorney. If you've got documents of this person you love, you call the attorney who drew them up and say, what do I do next? If you have documents and you don't have an attorney, you're out of state, you don't know who it was, see if you can find somebody in the state to talk to. In my world, it would be worth a consultation, whatever that looks like. To talk to somebody who's informed and knowledgeable and can give you some advice about how do you get started. If the will has to be deposited, what's the best way to do that? I always recommend sending things certified, return receipt requested, so you can verify that it was delivered. This client of mine doesn't have any proof that it was delivered, and we're going to spend time searching for it. I am going to, or have my paralegal spend time calling the county it's supposed to be in and seeing if there's some way to track it down. I've done that before with tax records, so I'm hoping I can do it with this. But It's just really important. It's really important. Find somebody you can trust to give you good counsel and go for it. And let them help. This woman just was attempting to do it all by herself, and it's just not working out. So that's one of the things I've learned recently. I mean, I wouldn't have said anything, thought about this before until this situation where this will seems to have been lost, misplaced, who knows? And we can't get her brother's wishes honored without it. Another thing is you want to pay attention to who you name to take care of you, to represent you. Have a client who's named a family member to represent her in a number of capacities, and the family member has not been as responsive to the client as the client would like. And the client keeps thinking about changing her designee. Well, part of it, in fairness to everybody, maybe the client is in her early 90s. She's competent, she's alone, and she's isolated. She doesn't drive anymore. And you want to pay attention when you're appointing people or when they're asking you to represent them to what's their state, like what's their physical state, what's their mental state. And you want to be sure, if you're finding an attorney for somebody you love, that they will be sympathetic and compassionate about that. That they're going to be able to put themselves as much as they can in the shoes of the client, to be sympathetic and care enough to help them see what they might do, or to help them see that what they've got is good and they might want to be satisfied with it. And then to know that you want to be available for them. If you've been appointed to be a healthcare surrogate or a power of attorney for somebody you love, and they need you, life gets in the way all the time. You know, all of us, just recently, I had a couple of days where I didn't feel well. Well, I wasn't really available to my family or my clients, and that stuff happens. And we want to be responsible about that, about calling somebody who called us 3 days ago and apologizing for dropping out of, because they're frantic, potentially for no reason, but they're frantic. And we want to be able to stand with them and support them to diminish the emotionality of it. This one person who's struck by feeling like she's all alone, I don't think she is, but I don't live in her house and I don't live in her skin. And her estate plan is strong and says exactly what she wants. And she's needed some extra care. So this has really wandered around. When you're working with somebody, you want to find the person you can trust, that you can call. And I admire that this client has called me. And I appreciate that she's called me. And it's not easy, because I think everything's okay and I'm not living in her skin. So, you know, I might review this and decide it's not worth sharing. And I think the last few weeks have just taught me so much about what it's like to be the attorney and what it's like to be the client, and how important it is that the relationship is strong so that you can be honest with each other. That's enough about that. So we would love you to like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear if there's a topic that you would like to see covered that we don't talk about all the time. We really is me and my guy who takes records these videos, because we are here to serve. It's our driving force. He to make me look good, and me to be of service to the people who are watching. And Just have a great day. Thanks.